What's going on YouTube? Ryos here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I made my song Emotions. Before we hop into today's video, I wanted to let you guys know I have a brand new song coming out called Cash and Fire featuring RJ Dang. That's coming out on Revealed, and you could pre-save it right now using the link in my description. It comes out January 10th, and if it's after January 10th, you could use that same link to stream it. I really appreciate it if you guys check it out. Now, the song just came out in December, and I think I fully finished it around September or so, but I actually started this track like 2 years ago, maybe, I think. Maybe like a year and a half. I don't know. It's been a very long time since I first came up with this concept, but the inception of this project actually came about because my girlfriend just hit 25,000 subs on YouTube, and she was making like a recap video, and she was like, hey, can you make me like some background music? So I'm like, sure, we'll make it all emotional and stuff. And that's actually when I came up with the main piano riff that you hear throughout the track Emotions. It was actually for her YouTube video. So at the time, I really didn't think much of it. I just made my girlfriend this piano melody, but then one day I came across it, and I'm like, this is too good to just sit in the background of a YouTube video. Like, I actually want to turn this into a song. It had so much emotion, no pun intended. And yeah, I just wanted to try to make a song out of it. And I'm actually really proud and happy of how it turned out. It's a song that actually means a lot to me. So anyway, I had the project open here, and this is the main piano sound that I'm talking about. This is what I came up for my girlfriend's video at the time. So yeah, super emotional, and unfortunately, I don't have that project. I don't even remember what I named it at the time. I just have the audio from that piano that I made. So this project is kind of built around that piano melody. So I have a layer here called Piano Dreamy. Should have been called Dreamy Piano, but it sounds like this. And this is just to give a little bit more atmosphere to that original piano sound. Then I have another layer which basically is playing all the low notes from the piano melody. Altogether, those three piano sounds sound like this. So in the next section of the song, I wanted to start introducing some rhythm. So we have a basic kick and snap pattern. And I think I even swapped out this kick later on in the project, but so as you guys hear there, super basic pattern, but I wanted to add more rhythm to help fill in the gaps. So I added this thing called patty cake claps. It reminded me of like when you were a little kid, if you've ever used to play patty cake, if you know what that is. And then I have a marching snare, and they sound like this. And then in combination with the kick and the snap. As you hear there, it helps add a lot more rhythm and more of a head bop to it, you know? And then I added a tambourine and a rim shot. Then I have these two sort of ear candy layers. And those are cool because when you hear the basic rhythm and then you hear those pop in, it just kind of keeps things going, keeps things interesting. I also introduced these cool atmospheric sounds. They sound like this. And I added a bass line. So going into the hook, I have three piano sounds. Together they sound like this. We have this main one, which is from Omnisphere. Then we have this other one, which I believe is also from Omnisphere, and it adds a lot more texture to the sound. Here it has that like sort of, I don't know how to describe it. It almost sounds like water or like, I don't know, you guys hear it. It has that sort of texture that really helps make the sound feel a little bit more alive. And then we have a more washed piano sound that adds a lot more vibe. That's pretty much it for the hook and build up, other than some other small elements. But moving on to the drop. So I knew when I was working on this drop that I wanted to do something where you sort of take a vocal and you manipulate it so much to the point where it doesn't even sound like a vocal anymore. And that's what the drop lead is. And I think it's hilarious because the sound that I started with sounds nothing like this. It's actually hilarious what it sounds like. I'll play it for you with zero processing, just the vocal chop. Yeah. I think that's so funny. That sounds so bad, but if you process it, it sounds like this. And I love the way that vocal chop came out. So majority of the work that's actually being done is from this plugin called Soundtoys Little Alter Boy. So I have all the processing disabled, and it sounds like this, as you guys heard. So if we turn the pitch all the way up and don't touch the formant, it sounds like this. Pretty bad still. So I turn the formant all the way down. So as you guys hear there, after turning the formant all the way down, you guys hear that it starts to sound really weird. So at this point, I just turn the drive all the way up to the max, and now we got this. So as you hear there, the little alter boy is really what transforms this sound. Everything else in the chain is more supportive. So for example, I added an auto-tune directly after that. So you can see on certain notes that it's kind of helping the vocal chop stay in key. And then I have some basic reverb and delay. Helps give it a little bit more space. And then I have some additional distortion, compression, and then some EQing. And then by the end of it, you get this. So along with the vocal chop, I have this thing that I call vocal hits. This is kind of playing like a counter melody to the vocal chop, and it sounds like this. And this counter melody helps give the drop a lot more space. So you can hear it complements the vocal chop really well. There's also some brass stabs. And then we have the bass line. The main bass sound in this drop comes from Serum, and without processing, it sounds like this. And then with my processing, it sounds like this. So really Trash 2 from iZotope is what's giving this bass sound all that character. And what I did is use this convolve function to sort of replicate a guitar amp sort of sound. And then the drums for the drop are fairly simple. You have your sort of basic kick clap pattern. And then I have this percussion groove. We have some fills. And then we have some elements to give the drums a little bit of high end. So we have a tambourine and a noisy ride. So that's pretty much it for the drop, and the second break is pretty much the same as the first break. The only difference is that the drums come in right away so that the rhythm doesn't sort of die down. You go from the drop into the second break and you still have that sort of rhythm. So in the second break, like I already mentioned, the drum sounds pretty much remain the same. The only difference is I have the percussion from the drop playing in the break as well. Without that percussion, it's basically the first break drums. It adds a sort of cohesiveness from the drop and the break. It kind of like glues it together. So from there on out, everything else is more or less repeated, and that's how I made Emotions. So that'll about do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it helpful. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell because I am uploading every week. If you guys have any requests, suggestions, video ideas, all that good stuff, feel free to leave that in the comment section down below. My new song, Catching Fire, will be out January 10th featuring RJ Dang. You can use the link in my description to pre-save it, and if it's after January 10th already, then you can use that same link to stream it. I really, really appreciate it. But anyway, that'll be all for me today. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.